Alrighty, g'day everyone, welcome, hope everyone's well. Before we do begin, just draw your attention to the standard disclaimer. It says everything is for educational purposes only, and you are responsible for your trading decision. Alright, looks like I've got some blue green flashes, so let me know if I do have. Alright, let's jump in, folks. I'm just going through the rest of the pairs. But let's go back to what I'm up to. New Zealand dollar. This is the one we spoke about. Remember this? Gann's fourth touch. Sure enough, look, this is the one that did break. All right, so that's a valid rule. Gann's fourth touch or fourth test rule. Nice push through here. Momentum here. Pull back. So we had the head and shoulders here too. So welcome anyone that may be visiting us from the public sphere as well. This is a stream that I've been doing for quite some time, analysing the macro. They're going through all the FX pairs, gold, commodities, everything that's on MetaTrader, and then cryptos. Looking at ideas, putting down a watch list that I'm filling out right now, showing you what I'm looking at for the next 24 hours. Alright, so New Zealand, you can see tried here. So we've got the neckline through there. We can try there, but also too, just remember that we've got the 61 of this move here, right there as well. Plus a little bit of natural support and resistance right there. Alright, so market is just stalling at that. You can see that, look right on it. And the 61, so I want to see a very sort of positive setup through there. So we liked this yesterday. We had the pullback, push, and the stall. So I don't know whether anyone found something through there. That was a quickish sort of trade. But let's see if we can get another setup that takes us through here. You can see it's already had a bit of a push through. See if we can get another setup in there. So I'm happy to leave that one on New Zealand dollar. Okay, dollar CAD, look, just giving a little bit of a fake out at the trend line through here. So if you like those sort of double bottoms, that would be an opportunity. There's not a lot of strength in it though, look. Alright, now dollar Swiss we liked yesterday. I spoke about this, didn't I? Push through here, we've got the push. Now look for the pullback and get short. Alright, so you've got the break, pullback to the breakout pullback. So look for any entry, any setup to get you short through there. So we look for the entries now. We'll look for the context on the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour and the 60 minute. So we can drill down now. Context there, you can see just a break of the corrective anchor through there. So we identify that correctly. It's pushed. So now looking for a entry to get us in. So I'll put that back on. Dollar Swiss. There's a couple of other dollar pairs that we did like. Oh, that is there. Sorry. That looks like it's... Just bear with me, folks. Sorry, I need to kill that. I need to kill the cursor. It looks like that is what's causing the little green flashes, which are probably annoying. Alright, let's see, I've only just got the pointer now. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. Okay, dolly again. So the other one we liked was dollar Thai baht. dollar Thai baht and dollar Singapore. See, just bouncing around in this structure. So this is still good. So we've got the head and shoulders through there. We've got the test of the low here. And then we've got the pullback here. So look for this to retest. So we're looking for a push down, little consolidation. Then through that would be your breakout. Otherwise, we're going to have to wait for the breakout, a pullback. So dollar Singapore, happy to put that back on as a straight out short. And dollar Thai baht the same. So these are just pausing. We can see we've just got that corrective through there. So it's pausing right at it. So it's pushed at it. So we can get a move through. Let me just have a look. Alright, so this is not bad. So we've got the shakeout through here. So if this drops from here, would I take that one? Yeah, I think I would. Stop. The initial stop right up there, but if we get a snap back straight away, I'd be starting to exit through there. So that doesn't look bad. Let's have a look at that on the 60-minute. All right, so there's your definite shakeout. It's what they do often. It gets near the level. But also too, remember I've spoken about when the strength into the level, I expect it to break. All right. Well, this is not strength. All right. But I'm still expecting, because of this move here, that it will break. But often these structures, this is a lack of momentum, resets and then has another attempt at it. All right. So keep that in mind. So yes, if we get a push down, a couple of consolidation bars, yep, I'm okay with that. And then through, I would take the breakout and keep my stop up above there, above the 20. That's how I trade breakouts, not just straight through like this too sharp and then snaps back and takes you out. Must have that consolidation. So I've got back-to-back V reversals there as well. So that's what I'm seeing there. So we can keep that one on the list. Dollar Thai baht. All right, let's go and have a look at the macro. All right, now I'm going to kick that pointer off again. No, that wasn't it. And all that, sorry. There it is. Let's see if it stays now. It doesn't give us the green flashes. If it does, I'll disable it again. All right, so S&P 500, we said about this corrective through here, just be mindful of this. So you can see that is just correcting away. So we want to see this break out of that. So look at the 4 hour. Remember we said about the 4 hour anchor here. Look, we really haven't got a price acceptance below, which is good. So we're still intact. Have we got the A, B, flat sort of C in here? Maybe. We may end up with a triangle, unfortunately. So the Elliott triangle will look at something like this. Right, so we've got A in here. Now B can be higher than, let's say, X. C, D, and E through here. Now that would make kind of sense in here. Right, there's an early break, or this can be A, B, C still happening. 3 waves up into D, 3 waves down into E. All right, so let's just wait and see. If we get a reasonable sort of amount of strength up near the high, some momentum through there, and a pause or a breakout, then I'd consider that this is probably just a double zigzag, and this is probably a new wave up. I haven't looked close enough to see what's in it, and I'm not going to. But it certainly looks So yeah, that could be it. Look, 1, 2, 3, then A, B, C, 4. Anyway, let's just wait and see. But otherwise, just telling me to be a little cautious. Dollar index. Hi there, Warwick. So still continuing down. Spoke about that, the bigger picture, kind of pulling it down. Euro dollar we liked through here. Alright, so we did all the work through there. Still like this, maybe getting slightly extended. But you can see all my work through here. And we like this through the inverted head and shoulders there. Alright, so the 8 o'clock candle was that one on the break. Yep. Alright, so I don't know whether anyone got anything on that, but we got that right. So let's see if this can pull back a little harder now. So even below this level, taking all the breakout traders out through here, and then going again. Here's the 20, so back in there. So happy to keep that on. Let's drill in there and see what possible setup we had. Alright, so just, you know, a very slight pullback. Yeah, that would have been, you know, reasonably sort of gutsy in there. You got to remember what it looked like at the time. It would look like that. But, yeah, that's okay. Neckline coming through there, anticipating the break. Stop under there. Not too bad. Alright, so you can see there it is there. So there's the head and shoulders. So that played out. Then weakening trend. Then if you like divergence, it's there on the RSI. Euro dollar. Still got some targets above. Alright, copper. Copper's just correcting a little hard through here. Probably going to fill the gap here, flat 20. So let's just leave that alone. We were hoping that was going to correct a little earlier. But it didn't. So gold we liked as well. Same thing here. We got that right. This is pushed on nicely out of this structure. Let's let this correct. This is not super extended. Let this correct. See if we get a nice setup in here. We spoke about in detail yesterday about the corrective here. 1, 2, third wave here. So we don't want to see it through there. Through this height. So let's see if it can correct with a shallow C through here. Something like that. This has certainly fulfilled the rules for wave 4. And we've got our little gap up, little pullback. So we've got an intermediate wave in there as well. Oh, there's one there. And you can pick either of those. So far so good. You can see, decent extension, separation. So, just be careful taking longs out of that. They can still work, but they're losing probability. So I'm happy to put that back on and leave that on. And silver was the standout. Big structure through here. We expected this to break, and that's exactly what it did. Had this on the list. This very shallow pullback through here, holding the impulsive. But the only structure through there was really this one. Had a push into the the middle of the base. And then really just a pullback on the 60-minute look. Alright, so you got 3 bars back. That's enough to take the single leg pullback. Alright, so if you took that one, you saw that one. Those of you that like those single leg pullbacks, stop under or under the 20. You got at least 1 hour out before it broke, before it hit resistance. So you've heard me talk about, if the setup is good enough. Will I take that? I will, even if there's not enough room, assuming that it's going to break, but I'm watching resistance to see how it plays out. Now, we also spoke about, see the base here, if you were considering that the top of the base, which it is. It's already attacked it with strength. So we're expecting that it's going to break again. So it's taken out all of the orders sitting above. So a good example, and if you got on that, then, you know, that was certainly, you were well rewarded. Let's let this settle. See if it gives another setup. You can see it's a little extended now. Okay, WTI. We like this one as well. It didn't really give us anything early through here. I'm happy to leave that on. We've got that separation trade still going on. Separation between the 8 and the 20 on the weekly. Nothing special about these moving averages. They're just lines on a chart, but market seems to respect them. So do I. So I'm using the 8 EMA and the 20 SMA on all charts. And then the 200 here, 200 SMA. Alright, so let's see if we can we've got a nice push here, got a gap through there. See if we can an ABC back here. That would be okay to take, looking for the push. And there's the high there. Watching the high, if we do get a setup early, watching how it plays out there and potentially taking something off. WTI, so I'm happy to put that on. Alright, so what is it that I like? Well, let's go back rather and look at the trades, although they're on the list again. So the pound worked that we had on the list yesterday, so did New Zealand, which is fine. Let's have a look at the trades for today. So these are the, I'm just writing them out, these are the ones for today. These are the ones from yesterday underneath. This is how I kind of do it, and then I get rid of these at the end. So the ones underneath are yesterday, so you can see I'm not making this up. So there's yesterday's, look. And then you can see the ones for today are on top. And then I get rid of them, the ones we do the recaps on right here. And then I issue this into the trade room, FXF traders, trade room. Alright, so let's go through an order now. One that I do like is Hang Seng, or the HSI, whatever you want to call it. Weekly looks good, above the moving averages. Daily, a very nice push anchor here, it's holding. Weakening trend is corrected. And we've got A, B, C in here. C is very deep, but B is not bad. It's right there. The price is pushing up into it with strength, but as usual, with that sort of setup, we want to see push into it, consolidation, and then through to take the breakout. Otherwise, it will be the break and then some sort of setup afterwards. So the breakout pullback allows the 20 and the 8 to come along. Alright, so let's see what we get. The fact that we've got strength today was a reasonable day. Alright, that's what I'm seeing on the Hang Seng. Okay, the Euro we did, gold we did. Euro Oz, it's not bad either. Weekly's good. Daily we've been watching this through here. A little funky in there, didn't really give us clean sort of setups. So we've got the channel is becoming shallower. Oh, there you go, look. So we've got the shallow channel, Warwick's favourite. So we broke the structure we're looking at. We were looking for the squeeze through here. We didn't get it. Got a little V reversal in here. So we're now back above. So let's see if we can get a setup through here. Get us long. There's a very sloppy A, B, C in the same bar there. Let's see it in there. Look. See there. It's a bit more obvious there. And we've also got the IO in there. Pushing it out with that igniting pattern right there. So let's see, so it's tested the high, see if we can get a pullback in here or something to get us long. if we did get just a stall, any sort of funky stall, right, you can take the smash day through the wick right there. The variety of entries, you've seen those in the past. Euro Oz, was it early? Euro Oz took the ABC. No, I think, no, that's okay through there. No, that's fine. That one through there, A, B, C in the same bar, or A, B and C into there. Break through B, so no, stop under there. Partial out around the high, so no, I think that is okay. It may certainly pull back in there. And you got the IO in there, and it's driven it out, so no, I don't think so. I don't think so, Jacob. Right, so Euro Oz. The pound dollar we liked yesterday. So we had a nice push through there. We were looking for that move there, so we got that. Now we're getting just another sort of pullback. So let's see if we get another setup through here. Pound. New Zealand, very similar. No, we did that before, didn't we? Alright, so what else is it that I like? Swiss Singapore. Again. Remember this through here yesterday? No, look, we were looking for either the squeeze play or something and just push straight through. So we're now sitting at the anchor. So, sorry folks, something's itching my eye. Well, we're sitting at the daily anchor, which is there. So we may end up getting, an ABC early through here. Otherwise, we're going to have to wait until we get into the anchor. So, I was hoping, look, there was a breakout there, but it was very close to the 200. I was hoping that might have given us a squeeze play through here. But it didn't. It's okay. It is what it is. Swiss Singapore. Right, pound Singapore. Yeah, very good, Jacob. Aussie Swiss. Yeah, that's on the list, actually. Pound Singapore. Weekly is okay. Daily is okay. It's in a reasonably high momentum sort of state. We've got a little funky sort of base through here, but very funky ABC, wide ABC, but there's the top of the base. So you see we're through this. We've actually got a little bit of an ABC, but see this can sort of push up and either, give us something in there. See it there? Or, maybe give us something on the smaller time frame in here. Alright, so there's B right there. Well, you can see it's already attacked it there. So that's what I'm seeing with Swiss Singapore. It's not clean. It's certainly not clean. Alright, some shorts. Aussie Swiss. So sitting right on corrective anchor. Here it is here. I've marked this out a few times. Kind of hit it a bit hard previously, and yeah, I can see what you're looking at there, Jacob. That was probably it there. Something in there. Back down, entry through there. Yeah, it's very close. Just see how it plays out here. Don't squeeze your stop in. There's a high probability that it'll pull back and then give another one. But otherwise, it's not too bad. So either the the pullback through here or the break and the pullback afterwards is what I'm looking at with that. Right, so you can see a nice little, it's a very, the daily is okay. The 20 is kicking down, so that's not too bad. We're in that sort of transition sort of state, aren't we? It's crossed. And the other one is Aussie Yen that Jacob mentioned. This is similar. 20 is a little flatter. Weekly looks good. Right? Remember these. Now this is washed off kind of the climactic sort of status. Now we're sort of testing. Trend hasn't changed. We're testing the corrective anchor. We've tested it once, pulled back, got a big ABC on the daily. Early entry through there. So we're pushing down now. Now, what I'm seeing on the 4 hour, there's that level. Now, there's a lot of chop and sort of funk went on here originally, but notice this. Within that corrective, through here, we've got the V reversal into C, look, the climactic, and then a potential distribution down the bottom. Here, right, so we've kind of got, there's our ABC structure there, so that's it there. So I'm guessing that one as well you probably took, Jacob. So if you did, well done. Look, certainly around the low there you want to take a partial off, and we've also got the head and shoulders here. All right, so you can see the neckline through there. All right. So look, out of these as well, you can project out. Jacob, you know how to do this, Ben does too. Here, take it from there, and you can go down 61, 100, all right, for your measured moves. So this looks good. So trying to get a secondary entry on this. Got the break there. See if we get a consolidation around the neckline, or we may get the pullback in here. It gives us another opportunity. So, yeah, that's another good example where if the setup is reasonable, take it, but be mindful about how it plays out into nearest support or resistance. You can see the setup in there looks reasonable. Well, there's that green. Sorry about the green, folks. I didn't see it was doing it again. But look, you take that as a up and then just a sideways, and bang, then it comes out with bullish bearish strength. So, yep, well done. I'm assuming that was it there, Jacob. As I said before, your entry through there, which is valid. Look, got a nice outside engulfing. So well done, young man. Oh yeah, that was it. Good. Oh yeah, stop loss above the 200. Yeah, okay, all right. All right, so what else? Dollar Singapore we did. WTI we did. All right, let's have a look at the cryptos. So a little bit of a change of character on those, which is interesting. The one that I did like, and I was spoken to you the other day about this XMR, this Monero. This is pushed on quite well. Back well above the seats, pausing at the flat 20. So I've taken quite a few profits off there. Let me see if I can show that to you. Yeah, there it is. You'll see why I'm being just hesitant and conservative with that one. Here it is here. All right. Well, thanks, Jacob. Oh yeah, the stop loss was for Aussie Swiss, fair enough. So this is a 4-hour chart of that XMR. All right. So you can see here it dipped in and it gave us the, well, we can't see it, but it gave us the double bottom. So I've added on the double bottom. Nice big push up into the top of the range. Yeah, that was it. All right, I'll show you that. Oh, hang on. Oh, man. All right, so, well, there we go. That's better. All right, I'm going to kill this. It's obviously what's doing it, the highlighter. Sorry, folks. Looked like it was getting a bit frantic again. All right, so there it is there. See the double bottom through there? That's where I added the second. Remember, I got the short through there. So there it is there, and that's where I added in there. So you can see it's pulled back, and then it's gone up, and it's tested kind of into the top of this range. So you can see I've taken 3 profits there into that high. So in there, initial stop right under there, then bought it up under here, tested in that area there. And then it actually gave a little pullback on the 60-minute, and I've added back in. That's it there. And then we've popped up into the 50% level of this range here. And I've taken more out. See it there? And then there's my average price still down here. And there's my stop. So average is there, and stop's just above it. So well and truly in profit. Yeah, and I've got a third running. All right, so yeah, so that's a sort of, especially with these cryptos where they're volatile. Now I'm not hanging around with a lot of these. All right, let's go through in order. All right, 88. Now some of these we've actually got little bases forming. We certainly haven't got big moving average separation on these, so that's a bit of a concern. But little bases in there, so that's a start. And you can see it's already pushed up into the 8 and it's got rejected. So we need to see how these play out, see whether this gives us a base and starts pushing out. So we're still very much short, but just remember, look at the 20 on the weekly. This is what's catching a lot of them, I believe. And then we're just ending up in these bigger correctives. So let's go through these in order and see whether there's any. So they've all done very similar. Look, tested the 8 and gotten rejected. All right. So this one was well under Avalanche. Binance Coin is not bad though. It's above. So notice how it hasn't suffered as much. So if any, this is one that I'm liking going forward. It's still just not quite right, but I'm certainly happy to maybe just put that one in under other analysis. Stupid thing. I just want to delete it. Oh, good. So it then deletes the whole note. All right, so I put that under other analysis. What's that one? BNB, USDT, obviously. So I see if we can, maybe get a setup in around here. Oh, I haven't got the markers on this one, but this is the weekly, this is the daily, and this is the 4-hour or the 60-minute. Bitcoin, see here we're under the 20, so it's getting, that's still flashing. It's getting rejected. Right, so that's making it difficult. These certainly looked corrective yesterday. There was a bit of strength came in, and I thought maybe they're going to pop, but look, they're still just sitting there. So just be mindful of that. All right, so when you look on the daily, it's certainly corrective through there. So Doge the same, looks tested here. It's getting rejected. Same thing. Look, these look like basis, a nice push, but no. Look, until we get at least into the setups that we know, which is the test, rejection, and then the push through like this into the with the moving average. Unless we kind of get in there, I'm leaving that alone. So that would put that kind of in there on Doge. We've certainly got nice price voids in here for these to fill, but when the time is right, and it's not now. Under the 20 again. Ethereum though is not bad. Look, notice above the 20 on the weekly, and they're much more. They haven't corrected as hard. Ethereum, we like these back here. We got some good trades right at the 20 though, so the 200 rather. So just be careful. But see the nice little base, and this is followed through, right? We got our 1, 2, 3 there. So I like this going forward. I'm just being a bit cautious with the 200. But in saying that, we get a setup through here, comes back in here, it gives you enough room. So I will put that on under other analysis again. Ethereum. Okay, header up, look, same thing, tested the 8 under the moving averages on the weekly. Link, the same, look, they're very similar, see that? Which we expect. Same with that one. Pepe the same, look, tested the 61 through here, back into the moving average. This is not bad, this is better on the weekly. It's holding, but it's got the moving averages there, so leaving that alone. Solana, yeah, look, it's now back below the moving average on the weekly, which is not good. And, you know, certainly deep here. So there's not huge separation there, allowing for that trade in there. So that's one that I'm just going to leave for the moment. Sui the same, very corrective. What's that one? Tron, TRX, look, under the moving averages. Weekly's better. But no good. XLM, no good. XMR that we spoke about, that's not bad. It's just right at their 20, so leave that alone. I do expect, you know, in time it might just consolidate here and then pop. So nice price void in here. And Ripple same, look, back under the, you know, never got above the 20. Never closed above the 20. So, you know, it just kind of shows still just corrective. In fact, this looks short. If it wasn't for the climactics through here, these would be shorts. In fact, Ripple is. All right. So Ripple actually looks short in there. But I'll leave that out for the moment, but certainly under there. So there we go, folks. Let's see how these play out. All right, so look out for the watch list. Thank you for your company. Anyone that's new, I do this every Monday to Friday. Same sort of thing for usually half an hour, maybe a bit longer if with some good lessons. If you're struggling to understand it, most of the people are reasonably advanced. Most of the viewers are reasonably advanced. So that may be why. But if you like that, maybe have a look on fxftraders.com. There's some subscriptions there. If you're interested, come and join us. So there we go, folks. All right, folks, thanks for your company. Trade safe as usual. Oh, sorry, we forgot the news as well. All right, here we go. All right, so Tuesday, so overnight we had some US. Tonight we've got some Euro in half an hour, some orange. And then we've got just a little bit of pound. But tomorrow, Wednesday, or tonight, US in 5.5 hours. Tomorrow, Aussie GDP. Then we got the US non-farm, ADP non-farm. Got the CAD rate. Thursday, some more US and CAD, some Euro. Then Friday, the big one, non-farm. So just be mindful of that. A little bit of a heavy news week, folks. Trade accordingly. Maybe drop your risk back a little bit. Maybe 50 to 75%. Yeah, it's worry. Alright, so maybe 50 to 75 might be appropriate this week. Certainly later in the week. So let's see what we get, folks. Alright, thanks for your company as usual. Take care. And we'll see you tomorrow. Apologies about the green screens. It is that highlighter that I use, so I'll try and reboot for tomorrow. All right, folks, take care. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.